It comes without warning, at 3 a.m., in the shower, in the middle of a laugh. The thought that stops time, that makes everything you've built feel temporary. I'm your host, and this is Anatomy of Fear. There is a fear that has no teeth, no claws, no fangs. It doesn't make your heart race like a spider. It doesn't make you freeze like a snake. It's quieter and far more ancient. Thanatophobia, the fear of death. But that name is misleading, because what you're actually afraid of isn't the moment of dying. It's something your brain discovered only 300,000 years ago. Something that no other creature on Earth experiences. If you're watching this because 3 a.m. thoughts about death steal your sleep, pause right now. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your heartbeat. You are here. You are alive. This moment is real. Okay, let's continue. What you're experiencing isn't a disorder. It's not a malfunction. It's the price of admission to the most sophisticated cognitive ability in the known universe, self-awareness. And it lives here, not in your amygdala, not in your survival circuits, in a network of brain regions that only activate when you're doing nothing at all, when your mind wanders, when you're alone, when the world goes quiet. The default mode network, DMN, discovered by accident in 2001 when neuroscientists noticed something strange. The brain doesn't shut off when you rest, it gets louder. Your amygdala consumes energy when there's a snake in the grass. Your insula activates when there's poison in your food. But your DMN? It consumes energy when there's nothing. And 100,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. For the first time, a species looked at the stars and asked, "Why am I here?" And with that question, death became terrifying. Because to understand that you exist is to understand that one day you won't. Animals grieve, we know that. Elephants touch the bones of their dead. Chimpanzees sit in silence after a loss. But there's no evidence they anticipate their own death months or years in advance. That ability required a brain structure that could simulate the future, and that structure is the default mode network. A 2026 study from Harvard tracked 847 people across 5 years. Their finding? Individuals with higher DMN connectivity at rest reported 63% more intrusive thoughts about death. The more your brain defaults to self-reflection, the more you confront your own mortality. The DMN has two modes, past and future. When it pulls you into the past, you feel regret, nostalgia, rumination. When it projects you into the future, you feel anxiety, hope, dread. And according to Columbia University's 2025 study, people with death anxiety don't just have an active DMN, they have a hyperconnected DMN. The regions talk to each other too much, too fast, creating a loop that's hard to break. Thought triggers emotion. Emotion triggers more thought. And suddenly, you're trapped in a spiral that feels impossible to escape. The Max Planck Institute published a paper in 2026 suggesting that self-awareness evolved not for existential contemplation, but for social strategy, to understand what others think of you, to plan, to cooperate. Death anxiety is a byproduct, a bug, not a feature. Your brain didn't evolve to handle the existential implications of its own power. And that's the paradox. The same network that lets you find meaning, build legacy, and love deeply is the network that keeps you up at 3 a.m. terrified of nothingness. But here's what Stanford discovered in their 2026 DMN modulation trials. The network is plastic. It can be rewired, not to eliminate death awareness, but to transform it from a source of terror into a source of meaning. When do thoughts about death most often visit you? A. At 3 a.m. when I can't sleep. B. In moments of silence, shower, driving alone. C. After watching news about tragedy or aging. D. Constantly, they're always there. Pause the video, think about your answer, then comment with the letter that fits. To understand how to rewire your DMN, you need to understand its two faces, the past self and the future self. The past self loops through memories, what you should have said, what you could have done differently, who you used to be before time changed you. The future self projects forward. It calculates probabilities. It imagines loss. It counts the years you might have left. A 2026 study from UCL found something remarkable. People with high death anxiety spend 78% of their DMN time in the future. They're not stuck in the past. They're trapped in a future that hasn't happened. And because the future doesn't exist, the brain keeps trying to predict it, control it, prepare for it. But you can't prepare for nothingness, so the loop never closes. Nature Neuroscience published a 2026 paper showing that the posterior cingulate cortex, a DMN hub, has 22% higher dendritic spine density in people who practice regular introspection. Meaning, your DMN physically changes based on how you use it. If you feed it fear, it grows fear. If you feed it meaning, it grows meaning. The question isn't whether your DMN will activate. It will. That's its job. The question is, what will it find when it goes looking? A 2025 Cambridge study gave us the answer. Quick self-check. When your mind wanders, where does it go? A. I replay the past, what I lost, who I was. B. I project into the future, what I fear, what I'll miss. Comment past or future. And if you thought both, comment both. In our previous episode, we explored the conscious experience of death anxiety, the what and the why now. If you haven't watched it, it's linked in the description. But today, we're going deeper. We're not just asking why you're afraid. We're asking, what created the brain structure that makes that fear possible? And more importantly, how do you rewire it? The Cambridge study scanned people while they contemplated their own mortality. The DMN lit up, but in two distinct patterns. One group showed chaotic looping activation, the fear spiral. The other showed organized integrated activation, what researchers called existential integration. Same stimulus, radically different brain responses. This is where the 21-day DMN challenge begins. Week 1. Observe without judgment. 5 minutes daily. Watch your thoughts like clouds passing. Week 2. Reframe. Every time fear appears, ask, what does this fear tell me I value? Week 3. Legacy. Write one sentence. When I'm gone, I want to be remembered for. Start today. Comment day 1 when you begin. If death anxiety shows up as health fears, heart palpitations, scanning your body for symptoms, our health anxiety playlist has 3 videos that will change how you see those signals. And if you're curious why your brain evolved this way, our Evolutionary Fears playlist connects death anxiety to 60 million years of programming. Links in the description. Let's start week 1 together. 5 minutes a day. Here's what it looks like. You sit, you breathe. Thoughts about death will come. Your DMN will activate. That's the point. When a thought appears, you don't fight it, you don't follow it. You just note it. Ah, there's the fear again. And you let it pass. Stanford's 2026 protocol showed that after 21 days of this practice, DMN connectivity shifts. The loops loosen. The fear loses its grip. Not because death becomes less real, because your relationship with it changes. This is bigger than just one person. Death anxiety isolates us, makes us feel broken, but 43% of adults experience it. Tag 3 people in the comments who need to know they're not alone. 3 people who need this video. Do it now. Then keep watching for what comes next. In our next episode, we're not just explaining the DMN, we're giving you the complete 21-day protocol, week by week, day by day. The tools to rewire your default mode network, to transform existential terror into existential clarity, to stop fearing death and start living fully. Until then, remember, your fear of death is proof that you love life, that love is real, that love is now. I'm your host, and this has been Anatomy of Fear.